Hello everyone and welcome back to College COD LAN Finals, where we are just about at the end of day number one. One final match here in winners round one to see who's going to be able to stay alive in the upper bracket, well, who is going down low. Taking you through the action, myself, Visions, alongside Proper. We've had a great day of COD and now we got one more matchup.
Started off with 8 teams. We are down to 6. Obviously, commiserations to both Davenport and the Aggies out of New Mexico State. But we are continuing on with the shark-infested waters. It is this double elimination bracket as it all currently stands. You just saw the University of North America, the Dragons, played Northwood, honestly pretty damn close. A lot closer than I'm sure a lot of us were probably expecting. The winner of this matchup, again, another winners round one matchup on the docket, Oklahoma Christian, the Eagles, taking on Fisher Falcons. Battle of the Sky, who has the date with Northwood tomorrow?
That's the big question right now. Northwood certainly had to go through a little bit of a fight to get to their next round, but we're still able to clutch up, still able to go big. This one, I mean, it'll be an interesting story if it's the same, right? Fisher is the #1 seed. Coming into this matchup, I feel like there were certainly some challenges that they faced throughout today, dropping some maps, maybe looking a little bit shaky, I think in Search and Destroy in particular. So we'll see if they've maybe been able to clean some of that up, coming up against a team that potentially pull off enough.
Lost 2 Search and Destroys in a control across all the matches played, both on and off stream for Fisher. And I think it's more alarming than anything. You know, I got to talk to Gunzy out front, funny enough, with Coach Phantoms. And it's still so weird for me to say that Timmy is coaching this team currently. But nonetheless, I think that this Fisher roster is one thing that you have to look at as far as a roster is concerned. You got a world champion. You got top statistical players through Challengers Elite. They should be able to get the job done when it comes down to adapting their playstyle.
I love that right there. Well, it's a perfect segue. Let's take a look at Fisher Esports.
Successful enough to be down to 10 seconds to get to A as fast as you can. Guns is still being so annoying in your backline, and that's going to be the round. You can look at those green arrows on the minimap looking for the rotation for P2. They were not able to get this last time around, so they put a little bit more emphasis, but still fall flat on their face. Look at that, Gunzy and Rex. Just an unstoppable duo right now.
All right, how about it? Ramby, Rex, Silly, and Gunzy. You already highlighted a lot of these players here, Andy. There is a lot of experience throughout this team and well throughout COD history as well.
I think that's putting it lightly, isn't it? I mean, you got Silly. I mean, Justin Fargo on this roster. Like, how can you not put a giant periscope on what this guy brings to the table? Obviously, is it going to be the same flashy player that we have seen in Call of Duty's history? But when you're surrounded by Dylan Rex, who, if you've been living under a rock and you have not been watching any challengers whatsoever, first of all, what's wrong with you? You're missing out on Dylan Rex being the #1, #2, always battling for #3 globally when it comes down to statistics. Ramby also brings a lot of good S&D prowess behind it. And Gunzy is the all-around player. I mean, Savvy's not afraid to get his hands dirty. He can also slay with some of the best as well. Definitely a team to always watch out for.
Absolutely. Well, we have to take a look at the opposition. We'll take a look at Oklahoma Christian and their roster.
Turn around. Oh, wait, he's going to get a little bit of help here. Or so you thought. Splody just kind of bounces past him, and Frosty gets pulled. Oh, it's a cheeky play, and Texas State will not love watching the stream back and seeing that.
I know there's only 15 seconds left here, and Oklahoma Christian just wisely backing away for the hard point, which is arguably the most money kill we have here potentially in Modern Warfare 2.
Oh!
I'll continue to say it. Cruz has the best player intro throughout any of them that we've seen here thus far. But, of course, alongside Cruz, Ray, Frosty, and Gus.
This roster has a lot of explosivity. I will say that much. You know, we got to see a lot of that when it came down to the regular season, going up against teams like St. Edwards. They did fall short, of course, earlier when we saw them on stream versus Northwood. Anybody that goes up against Northwood, let's be candid, it's going to be a tough matchup. But you do have Cruz, Call of Duty's favorite Kiwi, playing here if for Oklahoma Christian, is always combating with a lot of top placements when it comes down to LAN for challengers and opens alike.
Sure.
I think that there's a lot of periscope on, obviously, Frosty and Gusify. We know what they are able to bring to the table. Slayers within their own right. But Ray kind of falls into a sea of giants, if you will. We got to see Ray kind of start falling into his own earlier in that matchup versus Northwood. But I think it's just one of those things when you do look at this 4-player roster is we know what we're going to get, at least out of the 3 of them. I want to see how comfortable Ray can honestly get in this environment around some of these guys.
I love that. I love that call overall. I mean, Ray does feel like the X factor for the squad and whether or not they're going to win the respawn, right?
Yes.
I think at S&D, a little bit more manageable to kind of, pick up the slack when somebody's not always performing, because you can also kind of use them as a bait and switch and as an entry, so it's a little bit easier to get away with it. But when your sub is not firing, isn't really winning those key 1v1s maybe in the hill, around the hill, you can certainly struggle. But I feel like another fair shout out is Frosty had an insane series up against Saints. I mean, that is probably the best we've seen him play so far in a set throughout day number 1. So I feel like he's also bringing a lot of big firing power, a lot of big slaying power to try to match what we're going to get out of Fisher.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, Frosty, I feel like, is just one of those players that just kind of was right underneath everybody's radar, whether you're looking at the Challengers here, whether you're looking at just altogether when it comes down to collegiate, but you're going up against the top dogs, or I guess the top bird as it may be. There's going to be a lot of bird jokes, maybe some talent jokes in there. I'm sorry, you're going to have to deal with it. But when you look at this roster, as far as Fisher Falcons are concerned, again, you're looking at the pace that is going to be set up, specifically from Rex and Gunzy. Those guys are going to just straight up run at you and just try to prove the point that they have the better gunny. But we talked about the players, we talked about the cast. What's the venue going to be looking like? Well, double dose of Mercado. We haven't gotten Mercado Search and Destroy all day long across all matches being played. We are guaranteed at least that for map number 2. Expo Control, the guaranteed first 3 maps.
Yeah, first 3, and well, we've been seeing a lot of Hydro today.
A lot of Hydro.
Almost in every single set, it feels like, especially at least on broadcast, that has just been a map either first or fourth. So we'll get it here again, and well, we'll see the Hotel Search Destroy potentially if we end up going the distance, which we very well might here, depending on what we get from Oklahoma Christian. I think a lot of people are still looking at Fisher Esports. Listen, these guys are probably the favorites coming in here, but Oklahoma Christian, when these guys get fired up, when you start to hear them scream, dead, start to get them a little bit amped, that's when I think they have the ability to really roll off that momentum and have a chance to put up a great fight versus a Fisher Esports.
You gotta wake up there, Cruz.
A lot of yawns. I mean, it's been a long day, but I think it's
got some juvie back there, bro. Like, time to get twisted, brother. But like, I think it's just one of those things again. I want to see the pace be met. I want to see Frosty really try to meet that pace of Rex, because I mean, you're messing with a different belly of the beast. Look, when Dylan's sitting across the stage from you and he takes off his glasses and then he's like sniffing pixels off his monitor, I'm intimidated and I'm casting it. Blasts all across the board for all 8 of these players. Fist bumps are coming out. Things are looking to get underway here in our last series of the evening. Woo, boy, this Mercado map number 1 is going to be fun, man. I'm excited to be able to see what these two teams look like against each other.
Oh, me too, brother. Me too. Map number 1, Mercado. Hardpoint coming on up. This is going to be an incredible matchup. Oklahoma Christian up against Fisher Esports, both battling to stay alive in the upper bracket, have a chance to play up against Northwood tomorrow for their first match. Or else you drop down lower bracket, still a chance, but you're going to have to make a heck of a run and have to start to battle through a lot of great teams that are starting to shape up down there. But we'll see which players step up, who's going to be able to lead the charge. Map number 1, it's underway. Let's get into it.
Fisher have not played Mercado Hardpoint all day long. The only time when Oklahoma Christian did play it, it was against the Saints earlier, and well, that was that point in time where you pointed out player number 3, Frosty. Can he have a continuation of what he started off on the favorite side of the map? Fisher will be starting off on the Cantina side. Big old tussle as far as map positioning is concerned. Ramby's going to be under a lot of pressure. The parking lot pinch is now on as Oklahoma Christian are trying to battle for the time and the spawns at new.
Great kills coming on through. Oklahoma Christian now have a chance to put on a bit of pressure to Cantina. Rex, good snapper, will be able to find Gus from the side of the railing. Cruz also going to get a good read on the spawns. Will shut down Silly. A lot of this P1 time has been gifted over to Fisher Esports just off that initial break, but now it's all about who will get inside Cantina. Ray struggling to lock a player down. He is weak. Reach out is good, and Rex finds another.
That was the most Rex ego chow I've ever seen in my life. He had to move it down to what, about like 20 HP. Regen just barely coming through. He's going to get stunned up. So that force spree will be put to rest by Cruz, who's also having a crazy start. Now up to 5-2. Has more kills than all of his teammates combined. He's up here, kind of up creek without a paddle. 2 players for Fisher inside of the hardpoint. Cruz aware of it, trying to find where the reinforcement is located at. 3 dead. Fisher will lock in the initial time.
Oh, it's a little bit tough. I mean, you could see Oklahoma Christian trying to get a read that, hey, listen, some players are spawning out, but they could never really figure out exactly where they were. Couldn't lock down the timings. That's going to give Fisher Esports a chance to maybe lock in some more time. But here comes the next hit. Cruz, good shots over the top. Gunzy will finesse his life. Puts together 2. Little 1v2 moment there for him. Frosty might be able to give this a look. Rex got with his knife out. Doesn't matter. He swaps. And now it's all about the foot race to new.
Oh man, look at Silly's positioning. Already kind of cutting players off over by Bricks. Will inevitably be traded off as Oklahoma Christian. Their 2 hits unsuccessful. But it's so early days here. There are 7 hard points for crying out loud here in Mercado Hardpoint. Anytime to be able to get here in P3 would be good for Oklahoma Christian. They're turtled up around the hill, pushing players out from the back tin alley. You also have Ray cutting out reinforcements through the middle of the map. The only player that might be able to make a massive threat for it, I was going to say, is Gunzy, but that's a nice pickup for Frosty to pick up that AR off the ground and lock down the back line.
This is great info. You know that everyone here from Fisher is on this side of the map right now. You even have mid control. Well, at least you did. Ray will fall. Big opportunity to cut right through mid. Frosty comes up with another. He's now up to 7 and 5. But what can they do inside the point? Rex able to get a nice little off angle onto Cruz. He can't fully commit to the challenge, but he's still got a teammate down low. A little bit of a double hit coming on in. Will the Jal and will the trade come on through? Cruz looking over the top. Rex is finessing. Oh my God! He waits for the team to get there, and they will get the remaining 20 seconds in 10.
Sorry, did I forget to mention not only can Rex slay out up at 7 and 2, but he's also just annoying to get in a gun battle with, especially when he has a head glitch. He can snake his little butt off. Goodness me, what a break to come through from Fisher. And a dagger into the backs of the Eagles of Oklahoma Christian. They're forced to concede the scrap time. Not exactly a short hop from 3 to 4, but they're set up inside the barbershop. Frosty's off positioning. I thought was going to at least garner at least a single kill, but Gunzy, wise to the cause, is already reading it, and now players are spotting out for Oklahoma.
Oh, it is a close spawn there for Frosty to try to get here, but it's only 2 kills that come in so far. Overwhelmed by stuns will be Cruz through the back alley. That's as clean as you would ever want it if you're Fisher Esports, but a good response comes right back from Frosty off that close spawn. Now we'll see if Fisher Esports can get some nades in. Yes, they will. No trophy systems down. This is going to put Gus in an awkward spot. Does get a good angle, finds himself that first kill, but there are still a lot of members lingering just outside looking for the hit.
Very interesting that Gus, again, this is a point that got brought up earlier, but he actually plays respawns with a fragmentation grenade instead of a Semtex. And you're kind of forced to kind of gift up that space because you don't know how well that thing has been cooked outside over by the clothing truck. And it will garner a lot of space, and with that, an abundance of time to boot. Cruz now up to double positive. He's got a submachine gun, something you don't really see too often. Double weapon setup. Rory is letting them have it, 13 and 6 now. There's still one more player inside of 10. And that's going to be Silly, has the favor towards a reload. Cruz will find that trade. He's stunned up, needs to get taken down. Rex will deliver on the cause. Fisher in early.
Wow, that was a really good moment there for Oklahoma Christian to maybe grab some early tin control and just stop the members inside the hill from really having security. Not going to happen, but good kills now on the second attempt. Gus ready to take control of tin. Gets a good read on Silly, but won't win the battle. How about it? World Champ gives him a nice little taste of the 1v1. But it is now Oklahoma Christian in the time and maybe looking for the lead swap. Silly looking for another. Ray will deny him that opportunity. 20 seconds left. Some of the Fisher members have to start to look at a rotation, and this could be some great time to lock in for Oklahoma.
We already have 2 players, both Ramby and Silly. They are already playing for the future. I mean, it's a very small lead that Oklahoma Christian are going to have over Fisher, but it's still a lead nonetheless. Was flipped in this current hard point. So now we go back over towards Cantina. Back alley positioning is everything. Savvy, he's aware of it. He's going to take down Cruz. He lost his teammate inside Cantina. Where did Gus go? Nobody knows. He's over on top of the stairs. Gunzy needs to find more kills in the back alley. At least delivers on 1. Reinforcements right around the corner.
So huge from Gunzy. And oh, he entries into the hill, breaks it on open. A great moment, now up to 11 and 8. The bottom has also been cleared. One more battle in the tunnel. Gunzy ready to take it up to 4. Chance to work for some streaks. 40 seconds left on Cantina, and no way is he challenging that. Cruz will take the freebie, and all of a sudden, a lot of pressure up top at the point. Silly needs to get some work done, and he is quickly dealt with.
Gunzy was at 8 and 8 before he goes on that crazy spree. He already has a minute of OTJ time. That's an SMG that you want at least bumping out from the hard point, causing a little bit of ruckus up front. Frosty looking to deliver on just that. Has to play for the regen. Next player up top will be Ramby for the scrap time, and Ramby's going to get the better of him. That's going to be 10 seconds. That's going to be going over towards Fisher Esports at this moment of time. And now we look at the Infinity, the money rotation. From P6 to P7, this is where either this hard point can be swung back into Oklahoma's favor or Fisher can spiral it out of control.
Ramby's also worked himself back to this game. 4 and 14 up to 10 and 15. Still one off of that cruise missile. Have an AR to play with as he works through the back, and there it is. Cruise missile now secured. A little bit of insurance if this one tends to go late, and well, it just might. 30-point differential. Big kill comes through. A chance to break it open. Rex able to put together a double. Not enough to hold on, but there will be a moment now for Oklahoma Christian to get inside the hard point.
I will say that much. That was a much-needed break for Oklahoma Christian. Ramby's going to call in that cruise missile that he just earned. It's going to force Oklahoma Christian to say pretty honest, but hey, trophy system is pretty much a guaranteed thing. Stop that cruise missile from coming through. But Fisher still capitalized on the space being provided. 15 seconds go over towards Fisher at the end of the first set, and it's a crucial 15 at that. It's the difference in between being a dead even game, swinging towards the second set, and Fisher having about a 30-plus point lead.
Cruz has been great here so far. Well, we talked about Ray also having to step up. It felt like he really has through that first set of hills. Getting about a minute to his name. Can it continue? The lead's starting to build. Well, Rex able to deal with Frosty from the back. So P7 will stay safe. Gunzy will smoke another inside of Cantina. Gets good looks onto Gus. And well, Silly finishes him off. Now, all the control in the world for Fisher Esports.
Line 7 spree in between both Rex and Gunzy right now. Look at the map positioning as well.
Oh boy.
Gunzy, double weapon setup.
Oh
He
boy.
is just shooting players in the back and
Oh
in the
boy.
front. Someone trade this man, Gunzy, looking for the full feed. 2 HP. I'd be feeling myself too. But Gus is able to at least answer back with 2, but Fisher got a damn good amount of time off of P1 there.
Oh, do they ever, Andy? 20 seconds that you might be able to get, but you have to push the new, and oh my, kills are actually looking pretty solid on rotation. Rex has got to really defend with just himself. He's got no one else a part of this play. 4 in a row for Rex, up to 20 and 12. Trying to get a read on this push. Snaps on Gus, but the assistance is there from Frosty. They will clear out the AR up top. Just about all of that time will go neutral there with the remaining 5, and now the setup looking good for Oklahoma.
That was a great contest for some scrap time there throughout P1. It was information that 2 players were going to be coming out from 10, and now Cruz can go to work up top Cantina. So many players to look at. Silly's trapped in the corner. The Semtex will flush him out. 2 kills, and the players inside the hard point just simply cannot hold. Frosty's still looking to play for streaks. He's currently on 5. Needs to contest the hill, though. Get some good wall bang shots, but he is under immediate threat at Austin, and he has nowhere to go.
30 seconds left. He comes around the back. He slips around the back for 1. Frosty able to earn the cruise missile. And has he done enough? It's really up to Silly. And he will lose the second battle. Ramby going to give it one more go. A massive 20 seconds to try to get in. Cruz takes out his teammate. And the reinforcement's going to come through for Fisher. They should be there to find the final kill, and they will. That's going to hurt them quite a bit because now they have to find a big response in 10.
It's a bitter pill to swallow if you are Oklahoma Christian. You are down, but you are certainly not out. But it comes down to P3. Look at the setup. It's mostly all just inside of 10. One player up top. Ray's going to watch the big door. They already lost Cruz on the back lot side. Fisher looking to flood.
Really struggling to get that trophy system down, but it does eventually come out. Gunzy calling in the missile, looking to try to get it up top to the skylight. It finds nothing. Trophy system going to keep them safe. But Gunzy can attack for the back. Now Ray, what can he do up top? He finds absolutely nothing. Fisher Esports able to find the break, and now they need to find a way to try to get themselves back in. Oklahoma Christian gonna invest the streak now.
You need to, because you have to contest this time. What's the trophy system looking like through the skylight? Trophy system keeps them safe. Ray through the front is able to at least combine for 2 with Cruz, but now it's just all down to Rory. Can't come up with anything at all. Fisher Esports just need 12 seconds to call game.
Looking for the dub here in map number 1. Oklahoma Christian have to go, have to break, and win the rotation to new. And well, it's not looking possible. No one in position to get it done. Fisher Esports, good for the map 1.
Goodness me. Can you believe there was at one point where Gunzy was 8-8 with a minute of OBJ time? He goes on a 4 spree. At that point, if I'm anywhere in that Fisher camp, I'm like, you fly, brother. Because he was absolutely having his way, and it worked out wonderfully for the pressure that is Dylan Rex. I mean, I feel like that if you look up Mercado pressure in the dictionary of Call of Duty, you'll probably get a giant beaming picture of Dylan Rex. Goodness me, did he absolutely have his way in that map number 1. Everybody, truly, from Fisher, just were playing so lights out. I mean, even for Ramby, at one point, like he was like somewhere near like 4 and 12.
Yep.
He goes on a massive spree, that cruise missile, albeit not finding all the kills in the world. It forced everybody to stay trapped in that position. It's what they do off of that pressure. How much map positioning they were denying. When they got themselves 3 dead, they never neglected the map pressure that could soon follow from winning so many gunfights in sequence of one another.
And that call into Ramby, absolutely correct. I mean, that was the defining moment where you really felt the change in the map, right? The spree comes on in. They start to really get themselves a lot of time. They were finding very fast breaks, like a very quick break over to the top of Cantina when they made their way back around. They were able to get themselves locked in for 40 plus. That's what really separates the difference as we start to get to those final kills. You take a look at that scoreboard, Andy. Well, Cruz goes big, but on the other side, it feels like a lot of objective work coming through there for Ramby and Gunzy, just playing their life so well.
It just comes down to Ray and Gus. I mean, you have over 2 minutes and 46 seconds of combined OBJ time, but only 12 kills between them. Also, just look at Gunzi and Rex. I mean, there's a reason I will continue to talk about these two until they're eliminated from this dang tournament. 25-15, 24-16 respectively. Look at the assists with 3k damage for both of them. And even Gunzi gets 2 minutes of objective time as well, while you have Rex and Silly just bumping from the hard point, playing for rotation, getting spawns for new, finding the entry point with the AR, and then Gunzi and Rambi just come flying in for the follow-up as well. What a defining moment that second set of hard points truly was. Very close there towards the end, but Fisher Falcons will not get taken down so easily. The venue will remain the same, but the game mode will inevitably change as we get ourselves prepared for Mercado Search and Destroy.
Oh boy, first look at Mercado Search and Destroy on the day. This has been a hard veto for many teams, and that's because a lot of rounds are determined by where you throw your nades and where the trophies are. So this one could be just very difficult to find consistency in, right? I think that's the biggest thing, is that sometimes it feels like, oh, rounds are going really well, we're winning battles out in Cantina, and then boom, there's just one round where you just eat a bunch of nades, and just like that, it feels like the round's over. So this one could be a little bit more, I would say 50-50, a bit of a flipping a coin, it feels like at times. But that said, teams that do dominate Cantina and control that site specifically typically find a lot more favor and come out with the dub.
I gotta also say, I really do appreciate the targeted vetoes that ended up coming through as Fisher get rid of both fortresses, which isn't a terrible call when it's going up against Oklahoma Christian, as historically through the entirety of the year online, and well, even I believe a handful of times here at LAN, the Fortress Search and Destroy. No, they actually lost to Northwood, so clearly it's just a comfort pick when it comes down to Fisher. They don't want to play Fortress Hardpoint. They don't want to play Fortress Search. Whatever. So Mercado was open, and I can't necessarily blame either of these two teams wanting to go for it, because it is a tussle. It's a duke. As you were talking about, where are the nades being thrown? What utility do you have? Trophy systems are not going to be online in that round number one, so you're going to get some pretty unique rollouts, I will say that much. The middle of the map is what you're mostly going to be looking at for those ARs. Sniper battles as well need to be talked about, especially when you do have one of Dylan Rex. The Swiss Army knife here for the Fisher Falcons can pull out the sniper at any given moment.
I like that call. Rex does it with everything at times.
Seriously.
Difficult one to shut down. I mean, this is like a lot of a redemption tournament for Rex, too. After the year that he's had, I mean, we've been saying, listen, you can throw Rex into the MVP category throughout what he's been able to do individually, but those results have never really shined on LAN with all the teammates that he's had, despite having the experience there with him. Once again, has a lot of experience around him. Can he get through, try to make a big run to end off on a great note? Modern Warfare 2 season. We'll have to see. There's still a lot more series, a lot more maps that have to be played on out, but he is going to be a key piece to the puzzle here for Fisher to see if they can try to take a 2-0 lead heading into the Mercado Search and Destroy. But coming in, we did say this is maybe one of the few weaknesses that Fisher Esports do have. We'll see if Oklahoma Christian can try to take advantage, Andy.
Yeah, losing Search and Destroys on the day. It was around 11 versus Davenport, funnily enough. On El Asilo, they also lost an Embassy Search and Destroy to the Hilltoppers to start off their entire group play. They lost that 4-6. Not a whole lot of copy and paste when it comes down to how Mercado plays. You're mostly just looking at that Michael Bay lane that is going to be over by the A site. Nice opening snipe coming through from Frosty. I don't think that Rex has one out for this Chow. Double Chow through the middle of the map. Frosty has to concede the space. Gets bit in the ankle as we go to a 2v4.
It looked like that was certainly a hit marker that came through. I believe Rex is matching. See what ends up happening here, though, on the site. Bomb will go down. Frosty is now going to be taken out through the back. So we'll drop into a 3 versus 2. Rex needs to try to open something up, and, well, will anybody in Oklahoma Christian even give him an angle?
What's Gunzi going to do from this position? You have that silence, and you already pop it. He's already in a 1v1 versus the tunnel, and Rex, he doesn't exactly have the tool to be able to try to pinch this effectively. Gunzi knows that silence. He's got to go. Gets a free one on Ray. Any more reads? Gets the early damage, at least from Rex, but simply not meant to be. And that's why we take a really big focus as far as round one in Mercado Search and Destroy in a nutshell. I mean, everything just can be settled by that first blood. When you get all that information from Frosty on that boomstick, he gets first blood. He sees 2 more players at the yellow van. What more information could you possibly want, especially for the offensive opening team for Oklahoma Christian? You got Cantina control, get that bomb play. You got first blood, second two to follow from Cruz. It really did feel like it was their round to lose off of that opening snipe.
We'll see if the boomsticks continue to come on out here through Mercado. Frosty and Rex ready to probably take a couple more head-to-heads. Trophy systems are now earned. Rex will make sure his teammates stay safe, making their way to Cantina. But there is a lot of pressure. Frosty, he wants to hit this angle quickly. Silly gives it up. And oh no, Frosty might be able to get two there. Yes, he absolutely does. Does he get a read on the third up top? Oh my, Silly's not even ready to react. And Frosty just completely blows open the round.
Well, I think that answers our question immediately, as Rory is just very happy to be here. Big smiles out from Cruz there, top left, as Sniper got put away for Rex with an AR in hand, wanted to help out with Cantina control. Frosty, no dead silence, by the way. Just pulls his knife out from the spawn all the way through the cuts. He just gets up through Cantina. The fact that you didn't save a stun for Fisher to check that close corner is going to have to be an adaptation that they make in their upcoming offense if it's the same rollout. So, adaptations need to be at an all-time high. Frosty, again, puts the sniper away. Rex will also oblige. It's a 3-1 split coming day.
Interesting to see how Frosty can develop this play through B. And oh my, he has just won a gunfight. What will this do to the defense? Will this start to shift them around? They obviously have a lot of information in Cantina, but now Cruz has just found a second, and it just feels like it's going from bad to worse. Frosty ready to hit the gas. Well, pushed all the way through. Rex is not ready for it in Oklahoma Christian. They are running through Fisher Esports so far here on Mercado.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Map 2. This is now the Frosty Show. Didn't get to see that initial push, but I mean, that mini-map was quite telling indeed. I mean, as you called there, brother, like, that 3-1 split starts things off. Frosty goes rogue, rips dead silence all the way past the forklift, gets in an isolated 1v1, gets first blood seemingly for free. And as you were calling out, like, what does that do for the defensive shift? You saw them try to bounce all the way back towards Hedges, but at that point, it's too late. You already got Cruz top Cantina. He's ready to beam you on your exit. Combined 4 kills for Fisher Esports. Frosty's up to 5 in a row.
Oh, great nades there from Gunzy. And that's going to keep the defense lingering around. But Cruz gives a chow off. Will be quickly traded, but at least does his job here as the island player. Gus ready to follow up, but this is a very awkward situation. He's going to play for the timing and just completely give up his back. But he will be able to at least let his teammate know the bomb is staying safe. Still, a 3 versus 2. The doors are starting to be open.
Ray's not really in an angle to at least play for the trade, and Gus... Sorry, brother, we don't have to talk about it. We'll talk about it later, though. Oh, that's... Okay! Well, what a hell of a way to get yourself up the board for years now. Yeah. But it's just one of those things, again, like, when you get first blood from the nade, and you don't see anybody pushing through the back alleyway, you're forced to respect the push that inevitably comes through over by Tin, but I think that Cruz was a little bit late to react to the information, if it was even conveyed from Oklahoma Christian, that he was still holding that very tight angle that leads to the forklift, and I mean, the moment that he just sees the first, does not have enough time, not enough HP to be able to turn the corner and run, and Ray wasn't exactly in a position to be able to play for Gus's trade in the first place. So Fisher finally get themselves on the board as Oklahoma Christian are back to their devious ways, running it straight to A.
Yeah, they just want to keep on hitting it, and well, not broke, don't fix it. Gunzy this time is able to find Ray. That could maybe stall out Oklahoma Christian. Chow comes through for Frosty. Rex with some great team shots will make sure Gunzy plays his life. Bottom Cantina now controlled, and well, Gunzy just wants to keep on hitting it out.
Yes.
Gus,
yeah.
doesn't even get his gun up, and oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
This map's starting to change and go the other way.
Oh, yeah, look at Gunzy, just unfazed. He's like, yeah, I just aced. Don't worry about it. But it's that slight adaptation that has to be talked about. Again, you know, the last offense that ended up coming through, specifically for Oklahoma Christian, I mean, you have Frosty on the very long wrap, but it's these delayed stuns, these delayed throwables. You still throw at least like 2, maybe 3, depending on how many players you have over by Hedges, but it was that last little stun that delays that push going up to Cantina stairs, and it just allows Gunzy to be able to do that little top awning push, that little jump up. Just wonderfully done. Now Gunzy finds himself up on 5 in a row.
Early cruise missile. Fisher Esports went down 3-0.
Oh, that's a lot.
Now got 2 on the bounce. Ooh, Gunzy. He wants to get that final kill. He doesn't get it. Cruise missile not going to be earned. Ramby now, last one left alive. 22nd of the round. He runs right into the Semtex. And yeah, well, a nice response coming through very quickly. Just the 22nd round. How about that?
How about that? I mean, you realistically, as far as Oklahoma Christian is concerned, they have one trophy system. It gets blown up. But the one change that ends up coming through, because if you are Fisher, you're forever worried that there could be an SMG like Frosty that is playing up close and personal on that A bomb site. But it's Cruz that makes the adaptation And because he didn't get sniped and he didn't get pushed back through the middle of the map, you're just allowing an AR to get control of that tunnel and just crossfire you into oblivion, whether it's damage or kills. It's all good for me. The Eagles now have a 2-round lead.
Silly's still looking for his first kill. More players need to get involved on Fisher Esports. This is why we've called out this game mode as a bit of a weakness. But look at this. 3 members from Fisher Esports actually going to rotate over to B. They do have 1 member that's still in Cantina, so there is still a chance to make the play, but you're very reliant on a single kill coming through and then being able to exit or at least play your life here. So no information really being thrown over to Fisher Esports. Oklahoma just trying to keep them guessing.
What did Cruz do to cause such a ruckus in such a response? He'll still bait out first blood. Ramby thought that he was going to be able to find a flank. I mean, Rex ended up doubling back, but now through the middle of the map, Gunsy's played his life to a fine tee, but now you're swarmed with Eagles players.
Oh man, Cruz, he has played this round just to perfection. Gunsy, he's been alive in here for a while. That will also be the bomb down. Can he put together 2? No, Gus finally gets a big response, and well, Oklahoma Christian, they just bamboozle Fisher Esports in that round.
What could have Cruz possibly have done that forced 2 players to respond the way that they did from Fisher? I'm baffled by that.
Must have yelled, "We're going B!" Then
Yeah.
really loud.
Yeah, it is a very loud Kiwi accent, yeah, for 100%. That boy do get loud. Very much so. Gunsy, though, I mean, if he was able to double down up top after getting that bomb drop, that round looks entirely different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not meant to be. Cruz, as you say, played that round to a fine tee as Oklahoma Christian continued to show the woes of Fisher Esports up on that point.
Billy still looking for his first kill. Can he find it here? Gunsy, great opening. Will find Gus. Race should fall, and Silly is on the board. First kill secured for him. Oklahoma Christian going to lose 2, but get 1 back. Frosty now has to back all the way up. This bomb's not going to go down just yet. Frosty's going to try to reposition and see if he can work for an angle up top.
Oh, and Cruz gets snuffed out on the flank. I mean, it's not like Frosty had the right weaponry to be able to coordinate that pinch, but it was a little disjointed. And now if you're Fisher, as bomb gets planted, you know you have the numbers advantage and, well, the weaponry advantage as that.
Frosty's going to have to hit some nasty shots, and well, they already know that he has the scope. Let's see. Can he snap onto Rex? No, he cannot. Rex going to finesse his life. Looks like he was just snaking the air on top of the rooftops, and
Yeah,
he'll
he
make
might
sure
have
that he
been.
finds it cleanly.
Casting this kid all year? Maybe he was. I don't could have sprouted wings and started flying for all I know. Yeah, I mean, that's just good information if anybody was wondering why you just have Silly on the backside of the cantina just jumping over top. You get just such a bare minimum pixel peek over top of Hedges' back banana. You can see the glint of the sniper rifle. That's all the information that Dylan needed to be able to capitalize on that kill. But good adaptations coming through, specifically for Fisher to deny Cantina control from Oklahoma Christian. It's 1 round at a time. Oklahoma Christian very much so still up on that point, going back to A.
Win the opening engagement. Gunsy, he's been great here. Doesn't fully get the jump up, but can still contest down low. Not really safe, and well, he's still not going to get that jump up. Just can't really find his footing, but he's still able to come away with 1. So all things said, it's decent. Finally gets the jump up, and well, Gus will be there to punish. So doesn't go as planned, maybe, but still drops us into even numbers in the 2v2.
The bomb is being watched by Silly on the hedge angle. And Ramby has made the play. He has not budged. Silly's not getting pushed either. Rossi has dead silence should he wants it. Gus is just going to hold middle of the map just ever so slightly. They have no idea Ramby's here, brother.
Have to imagine Ramby should be good for 1. Frosty, great dolphin dive. Make sure he's not going to the cross, but Ramby knows, hey, listen, if 1 is there, the second is there as well. How would you ever read a fast flank like this? But they're going to have to. If they decide to come back to B, they clear out the back of parking lot. Ramby going to do a quick check, and the timing is unbelievable. Will the bomb go down? Almost there. The plant is off, and oh, it doesn't finish the kill. Ramby may have fumbled the round. 40 seconds on the clock to try to play retake. Silly from the back will find 1, and well, Ramby gets redemption and does recover, Andy. Deep breaths all around.
Ramby, look. I turned 31 today. You can't make my heart fucking... I'm skipping beats over here, man. Oh, man. I honestly felt like that was about to be game. But Ramby still makes the play happen. Look, it really does say something for Ramby and Silly to have that blind trust with one another. That Silly's still going to hold over by A. Nobody pushes through. There's no late utility. What does Ramby do off that information? He just holds the off angle. And as you say, like, you just hold that angle for such a long time that the moment you see everybody cross, you already threw some shots. They know you're there. Pop that silence, make them feel rather trapped inside of the elephant room. It works out so wonderfully at that moment of time. 2 rounds in a row now for Fisher. What's the response going to be going forward is the biggest question as we inch our way closer to that round 11. Oklahoma Christian could very much so close it here.
Oh, and they're going to go back to that B play. Remember, this is how they got their first round on the board when Oklahoma was already up 3-0. Last time Cruz was able to get himself one. Once again, laying down. Gunzy going to give him a chow head on. Think there would be a shoulder there first. No immediate trade. Cruz able to reposition. He is now on the site, and while the rest of Oklahoma Christian have now made their way over, but Cruz will drop. The trade is eventually there. There's still plenty of time to play with here for Fisher.
They know they have him trapped inside Elephant. 3v3. Frosty's hitting the off angle through small. Everybody's playing a different angle. But so long as you're watching all the exits, you know that they're still trapped in here. So allow the bomb to get down. Great. Good for the first. Gus also there for the second. Now it's up to Silly. 1v3 post plant. Does find the first.
Can he do it? Oh, he's going to run right in. And, well, Gus is just there holding the pre-aim. He'll find an easy trade. And, well, it maybe starts to look like a bit of a comeback. Oklahoma Christian will make sure that's not the case. They get their response. 6-4 victory. They tied the series 1-1.
Cruz laughing. You know how close that was, right?
That was pretty close.
That should have been like a 6-2. 6-3 at the worst. But now we continue to sing the woes of Fisher Falcons, who just seemingly can't piece together search and destroy versus some of these top teams, man. And it has nothing to do with the individuals. It has everything to do with the responses. There were some weird decisions being made through a lot of those rounds from the Fisher camp, where they were expecting information to come all the way through. I'm specifically thinking about like when Cruz was, I mean, he had to throw in just both his utility, but it garnered 2 players to give up the A bomb site, albeit it got really close in that round. It's just these slight decisions on whatever audio cues they might be hearing that kind of catches them off guard. Gunzy drops 1,500 damage, 11 and 8 for the Owl. I mean, that is just absolutely absurd. But it gets to show you all the teamwork. I mean, look at the combined damage in between both Cruz and Gus. Not to mention the value that Frosty found in the opening round with the sniper. 4 first bloods for Fisher Esports, all on one player for Gunzy. Not what you want to see when you have a 6 first blood ratio from Oklahoma Christian. They were just so good. And what would you say? Like maybe like the first 10 seconds? Mercado.
Yeah. They were pretty good those first 10 to 15 seconds. A lot of first bloods, a lot of quick rounds coming through, right? Yeah, it felt like Oklahoma Christian were really in control of that map for just about the entirety of it, maybe outside of those last few rounds where we started to see Fisher Esports piece together, but by that point it was a little bit too late. However, that's the map mode that we said that they had a really good chance of being able to take. They played the map 1 pretty close here, so obviously playing very competitive up against the squad right now here, Andy. So we'll see if that will continue. It is all tied up. We'll take a small break. When we come back, we got Expo Control coming up.
Flies on my stomach, and
Okay.
yeah, I don't know if it's birthday nerves or like I don't know how to feel about it, man, because it's like I want to see Ramby and I want to see Ray come into their own. It's a tales of 2 different evil on 2 different sides. In the hard point, Gunzy and Rex hard popped off for Fisher. Oklahoma Christian need a response here, specifically in a respawn.
Yes, they do. Need to find a response. We have also seen Fisher Esports lose their control in the day. I believe it was on Expo as well. So have they been able to fix some of their critical mistakes? Cruz, wow, what a patient play that is. The challenge is coming, and well, that may have just broken open the retake. Ramby forced to completely reposition and go for a little bit of a run. See if he can maybe work for a late play, a late pinch, and well, Cruz reads it and guns him. What a play that is for Cruz. He's now up to 2 in a row, and he might take another chow.
Oh, he got the read on a Silly. Silly thought that there was going to be a Chow top glass, and albeit he would have been right, inevitably Ray did get traded out. Ooh! Bruce? The Juvie hidden? Alright. He gets taken down by Gunzy. Talk about patience. Gus has one engagement. He won. He has not moved from the bus. Blocking all of these spots, forcing everybody to spawn over by Globe. But Fisher have numbers. They're on the B's up.
A lot of pressure to try to find kills up top. Ray, good long-range shots. Semtex not the best, and oh boy, well, takes himself out. So makes it a little bit easier for Fisher Esports to potentially come up with a zone. They're still under threat of being retaken, but that double from Gunzy may have just done enough to lock in that final tick. Everyone else for Oklahoma Christian now set up for the next point.
And you can chalk this. What's really been cool, what's been developing, is that when Cruz came off the respawn, he actually called for Gus to then move back inside a Globe. Once everybody else died, Cruz was called to bump away from 10. It really does say a lot. How important that position that Ray is in right now, just to force everybody to spawn over. Cruz was able to find a few kills, albeit you were able to add 6 seconds on the board. Fisher Esports, you still trail by 7 lives. You do have an ace up your sleeve, though. Gunsy's on the flank. Well, was on the flank. Never mind.
Will be dealt with. Silly and Ramby, I mean, they're kind of figuring out what they want to do from this position. Now that stun is going to lock Silly down, but the double team will still work out for a successful kill. Ramby has to wait for the regen. You're still pinned here on the B point, and there is now a minute left of the clock. Frosty wants to go searching for kills. Dead Silence is active. He's going to surprise one. Silly going to drop, gets a reset of the Deddy. Might be able to come back now and reinforce the point. Try to get Gunzy off of it. Challenge going to happen down low. Frosty finds number 4. Point is cleared, and now it's only 9 lives remaining for Fisher Esports.
Are you kidding me? 9-3 for Frosty? What? In all my life. Back up towards top Globe will be traded out. Silly's able to find a crucial 2-piece, but it doesn't really guard you much map positioning, does it? The one play that you do have is that Ramby is all the way in the back. He finally finds his first kill. Now it comes down to dealing with Gus. You got to get diner control. You have a player at least dancing around the A zone, but it's too individualistic. You got to be able to take all these different points of ingress at the same time. First segment still on its way.
That one's going to hurt. You lost Ramby in the back. Gunzy, AR in hand, has been able to get himself that first tick, I believe. And oh, there it is. So at least able to get the first one. Clock also going to be stopped at 23. Good kills come on through. There is still a chance to win this round on the attack. Cruz needs to find kills from the side. And how about it? 2 come through for Cruz. Gunzy has not found the trade. And now the reinforcements are in. It's a team kill from Silly's trophy. And the last one up is going to be Ramby. But Fisher Esports do manage to get 2 ticks.
Winnable. 1v10. Gets the first. Next one's hiding up in the corner, has to play for the regen. 7 seconds. Come on, Ramby, do it to us. Give it to me. Nah, it's not gonna happen. Alright. Tried speaking into existence, Austin, it didn't work. I don't have such a power. You are the scriptwriter after all, so you definitely saw that coming from a mile away. I will say this much, though. All off of the previous setup that Oklahoma Christian did have around the A side, again, it was really cool to be able to see them manipulate down over by the bus, over by the blue tent. Just having players just kind of bump forward inside a Globe, just try to deal with more players off the respawn, make them feel trapped inside of the studio. And albeit Ramby did find value initially on the flank, he got immediately traded out. It just forced Fisher's hand to play rather desperate. I will say that much on just trying to flood some of these different points of ingress around the A control zone. So Oklahoma going to strike first as far as a round is concerned. 5 seconds, though, Fisher were able to earn.
See this often, little 3-1 split. Cruz going to play for a bit of a late pinch through A to catch this player that likes to push through and grab street control. But what can his teammates do in the 3 versus 3 on the other side? Cruz has won that battle now across the map, so a chance maybe to look at A and B at the same time. Fisher Esports in a very awkward situation, and they need to find kills and find them quickly. Gunzy has done just that! What a way to deliver on the point. He'll find 2. They'll stop it to just 1 tick, but A is still under threat.
It very much so is. I mean, the only player that would be in a position to try to do something is Gunzy, but, I mean, he takes the longest route possible. All this is happening. Silly's at least trying to jostle for control over here at A. Will be traded out. Gunzy's flank finally comes all the way through, now up on a 3 streak. From that positioning on the map, needs to get Ray out from the zone itself. Will deliver on just that. Oklahoma Christian now trail by 3 lives. Going to have to try to settle to go through Globe, try to get himself into B.
Gunzy was on 4 in a row. Great shutdown, and how about Gus just flies on out. I love it. Silly now into the picture. Frosty feels like he's been able to push forward. He'll come all the way around the back. Going to force some deep spawns by A. And Frosty might be able to get a read on multiple players here. Doesn't spot the first. Silly's just holding up top, and everyone's going to fully concede this, but they have no idea Frosty's been able to get down low like this. He's now found himself that first kill. The rest of the teammates also looking to join him.
The reaction coming through from Rex. Oh my, Frosty's shot is so crisp, but Rex not much better at just playing his life. But boy, was that close. Just need 2 segments. Nice shots coming out from Ray. We'll bring him back to a dead even KD. Knows that the bar needs to be next. Look at player number 3. Ramby's all the way up by the plus. All by his lonesome Cruz! Oh no! Can we show that on broadcast? Oh god, that was gross. And now you also have Gus. He's pushed all the way up inside the spawn. He's watching players spawn up. You gotta get past him. And you also got Frosty still on the clock here today.
Oh my goodness, what have we just witnessed, and what will it turn into? Gus has found 2, Frosty wins his 1v1, and all this offense now is looking great for Oklahoma Christian. The stack is in, nobody should be able to get here in time, and oh my, what a round that is, but what a snapper from Cruz, Andy. He makes the whole play unfold.
I think I'm sick. That's disgusting.
I'm with you.
Bro. I mean, Cruz, like, we always knew he was gross, even when we were watching him play in APAC. Comes over to North America, continues to deliver on the goods, here on LAN, throughout the entirety of the Modern Warfare 2 year. It's been a lot of that. It's been a lot of that. Ramby should have had him dead to rights. He finds that first kill that forces another defender to try to deal with him. Not going to be the case at all. Oklahoma Christian are having their way. Frosty is 15-10. 17, now 18-10 for Cruz. The opening engagement for Fisher wants to see them over at A, but Gunzy's quite literally by himself. Is able to at least take down the first. Wait, hold on a second. Silly's actually right here over by Bar. Gus will take down Gunzy. Silly there for the trade. The A push is still on.
Silly just got all 4, and oh no. Yeah, this is a scary moment. A might actually be the first zone to go on this attack. Fisher Esports not out of it just yet. Still a chance to get here if you're Ray. But Ray needs to really get here now. I mean, this zone might just be gone. It looks like the call is the Chakin. Ray actually gets 2, and last second attempt. It is there. They do manage to clear it. It gets a little bit close, and now the focus brought over to the next zone.
Just get smacked in the face with the door. Up in there, brother. Take down Gusto. 2 segments captured over at A. Now the Virtues have been taken over towards B. You do have that first segment. That is already locked, but now all of this hold has to be within the studio.
They do. Oh, weird angle there for Rex. Doesn't really know where to look, and Cruz has just pieced them all up. One more player to try to find. And, well, shot's going to be taken. Gunzy going to slip away. Where will they decide to go? Back over to the A will be the call. 20 lives playing up against 19. Cruz looking for the reach out, but the trophy system eventually takes him out. One last contest here at A. Gus doing it all by himself. What a double that is. Both zones were under threat, so B might finally go over, but there's still a chance to try to get a retake in here from Ray.
It's so easy to talk just about Frosty and Cruz, who have been absolutely frying, but Gus, I mean, he's 13-9, like, low engagements, but he's always at the right place at the right time. The stack over at B surely is on. Ray is just trying to hold the line, holding the off angle over by the couches. Rex wants to challenge, but he also needs to stay alive. Head glitch is just a little bit too strong. That third segment is good to be locked at 60 seconds onto the board.
This one might come down to the lives. 2 minutes, unless Fisher Esports find just a very clean B right here and get that final tick. A lot of win cons. Try to extend this to another round. Good kills coming through the middle of the map, though, from Frosty. Able to keep everyone at bay. It's going to be a full-on hit through the middle of the map, as well as probably a play through the back. Rex is certainly starting to flirt with it. Meanwhile, Frosty starting to eat up some stuns. Has to now turn his attention to the zone. Double stack might be in. No lineup comes out. Silly's able to play his life, but can Ray do it again? Ray for the side. No, the shots aren't good enough. Fisher Esports with a great offense to keep themselves alive here in the Expo.
You think all the snow fell like that? It's a little windy out there at Hamlet. Crazy scenes. A really good decision-making, and honestly, the tenacity, especially for Fisher. You know, the initial push initially gets Gunzy over there. Silly finds the quad. And then from there on out, it was just maintaining that presence on the map for Silly. Ray is able to at least find 2, but the reinforcements were so close off over by Globe. And I love that for Fisher. Rather than just trying to concede that last segment, or the potential of the last segment, to move their way over towards B, they were contesting the zone for such a long time that we had 2 minutes on the board with like 13 lives on both sides. So Fisher finally gets themselves a round. Gotta win this defense if you want to stay here.
Silly's really coming into his own right now. 20 kills on the board. Will drop right away from Ray, who finds a great opening and will take the gap and run with it. Rex gonna give him a reach out. Of course he will. He knows he's won. That will be a good finish off in the back. Meanwhile, the rest of the kills starting to come on through. Have to be a little bit worried that you do not get spawn traps here if you're Oklahoma Christian.
Looking pretty good for it. Gunzy is actually pushing over by the bus. I mean, you got Rex that's playing such a close position, and because he's not seeing anything, that's going to call for Silly to try to push a little bit forward. Would rather have a Vazdev, but it doesn't matter because you got a Dylan Rex. He's on a 5 spree. 19 and 20 now for Dylan, just still playing top projector room, waiting for more challenges to come his way. And now Oklahoma Christian, they are getting desperate. Rex is able to find the 6th kill in a row. Cruise missile has been earned. Some trades to speak of, but Fisher have all map control of the world.
You can start to see the comeback now. The cruise missile has been earned. That could be huge if we do see the round 5. And they can still not get through Dylan Rex at the moment. He's now up to 7, able to get the regen and a chance to reset and rechow. He is still going to be the target, and Cruz does wait patiently for that kill onto Rex. He'll stop the spree, but you have to worry about Gunzy from the back. He has a chance to still get here and try to disrupt the play.
But he's got an SMG, and well, that bottom side of the glass isn't exactly a fortified wall, now is it? So Gunzy, that silence about to run out, goes down the staircase. Hey, how you doing? Gonna be able to at least find one. The pinch surely on. Someone trade this man. Frosty lasts alive versus Ramby. You gotta deal with him if you want to see 60 seconds out on him towards the board. You simply have a lack of lives when it comes down to it. This is the end-all, be-all. Numbers subsiding, trades still to speak of. Rex is piecing. Gus in a 1v2. Needs to find some more kills. Needs to stay alive.
Oh, he's got to look at everything right now. He's going to throw himself on the point. 5 seconds now remaining. The full wipe is in. And Fisher Esports down 0-2. Get us to a round number 5 with just about a perfect defense in round 4. And now Dylan Rex also has the cruise missile.
They have round 5 defense. Off of all of that.
Yes, they do.
A damn near perfect full hold. Himmelad Expo for Fisher. Now find themselves on defense for a round 5 with Rex. Pretty damn comfortable. He's got his snow booties on, man. He is piecing players left, right, and center. Has a cruise missile. The resource advantage is all yours as well. And essentially, you put the ball in the court for the Eagles. You got to be able to showcase some adaptations. Into round number 5 we go. Oklahoma Christian need to win an offense if they want to take it. Fisher, just do the same thing, Forehead.
Do the same thing. And you will steal away a map that likely should not have went over. Frosty, though, able to find himself a great kill. Turns it into a second. 3 down right away for Fisher Esports. And, well, Frosty, he's not going to stop. He's ready to keep on going. Dead Silence going to be popped. Chance to get behind this play. Dylan Rex forced to use the cruise. And well does manage to find Cruz himself. But there is a last second step on the point. And it might be enough, but there's also a team kill from Ramby. Ray desperately searching for the kill. Up to Gus to try to go big, but Silly is there. And they get there just in the nick of time to make sure the final tick is not secure today.
That should have been a capture. I mean, Ray essentially Semtex himself. It wasn't going to be the gun for the crosses. Semtex was right at his feet when he shot out. Oh, whatever. You're over towards me now. Second segment is well on its way. Ray Cruz, double stack is surely on. Ray playing a very close angle towards the back door. Going to be able to lock in that kill, and Fisher are going to chalk it. They're almost forced to. Going to have to be a flawless hold. There's only 1 segment required for Fisher. Gus is going to try to transition this off the cruise missile, get information to gain off this.
Oh, and he's also able to work for Silly there. Smashes it off the top. Silly now out of the picture. Gus with another big 1v1 there onto Rex. And now the setup, slowly slipping through the fingers of Fisher Esports. It's just 1 single tick. That's all you need. Gus throws himself on the point. Has a trophy to play with, but he's lost all of his teammates. And now Frosty here on the point, just trying to see if he can work for it himself. He cannot. The defense gets there again as they will continue to hold.
But even that little push right there is perfectly fine because it pulls so many players for Fisher Esports back that now you don't have a player over by the bus, over by the blue tent. Now a lot of this defense is, surprisingly enough, around the diner, but you gotta get past Gunzy. He is just lurking around Globe. Good trade to find if you are Gus. 15 plays up against 16. Oklahoma Christian, they are clearing all of these power positions out. Fisher Esports, the only player that's in a position to try to stop this initially would be Rex.
Oh, the player that you would want right now. He's built himself up to 31 kills here in round number 5. Can he do it again? Lots of time to play with. Oklahoma Christian don't necessarily need to force anything. you also don't want to get wiped here and get yourself back in that spawn trap. They just spent so much time getting themselves out of it. Rex, has he found the timing to work around the back? No, the timing is not there. Cruz able to shut it down. Back of the point now is Oklahoma. Silly, a chow from the side. Can't win it. Who is next? Nobody can get there. And well, they went up 2-0 and may have got scary, Andy. But it gets to that round 5 offense, and well, they get the job done.
Scary? That was like Texas Chainsaw Massacre terrifying. I mean, the way, like 2 rounds ago, we said, like, Rex was, I think, like 12 and 19 or something. He goes on that massive spree. He ends at 31 and 26. I mean, it's like you said there in that moment of time. Like, if there's anybody you want in that clutch position to try to ice up and keep that A control zone in your favor for just that single segment, you want it to be that guy at the top right. Little confusion coming through from Fisher Esports, unable to get the job done. And a crucial swing map mode combination, but how about Oklahoma Christian just out of the gates, just came out with some absolute fuego, brother. I mean, Frosty just completely continues on with his rampage from the Mercado Search and Destroy. Gus was inspired by it. Cruz is doing Cruz things, and honestly, Ray made some really good decisions. Yeah, he missed some shots, it's whatever, but there were some really crucial moments throughout the entirety of that control where Ray on defense was able to get himself in a position, found a crucial 2-piece to stop that A zone from being capped over. Was also able to find a 2-piece that started that B zone from being capped over. 25 and 17 for Gus. Almost felt like this guy wasn't even being looked at, but how about Cruz? 4,300 damage, 21 to 28 kills not traded, by the way. Casual. And 11 assists to boot. Like, he was constantly the player that was being looked at the most, and allowed Gus to be in these annoying positions. It allowed Frosty to continue to press the issue.
What a game it is. Oklahoma Christian here to play late into day number 1. If you thought the number 1 seed here, Fisher Esports, was going to have a free look at Northwood for tomorrow, think again. 2-1 up after what has been a very tight affair through just about every single map. And again, through the Mercado, maybe it doesn't look like it as they only get to 182 points. There was a lot of moments there to lock things down, but we know how Mercado goes. We know what happens when you get easily broken at times. So it could have been a different story, but now it is a different story, Andy. 2-1 up. Oklahoma now going into a hydro where teams have been continuing to throw this one into the mix.
I will say this much. If you are Oklahoma Christian, you are very happy that you won that control on Expo. Only time that Oklahoma Christian have played a hydro all day long, they got eviscerated. Quite literally, pun intended, blown out of the water. 250-97. They got a 100-point club by Northwood. Second, number 1 team. I don't care how you look at it. Doesn't really matter. On their first hard point of the day. Now, Fisher, on the other side, they have played this 3 times on the day, and they have a casual 83-point differential. So, take that as you will. That's wins over St. Edwards, Davenport, and also the Dragons of University of North America. That one is a very respectable win at that. So, the blessing in disguise for Oklahoma Christian, able to at least take maps 2 and 3. Then if it goes to a map 5, that honestly could be your win condition just to Neslo this Fisher Falcons roster.
And I mean, you saw a lot of frustration as well on Guzzi's face after that map, right?
Oh, totally.
Like, how do we lose that? Like, we have defense. It feels like they just have that incredible opening that Frosty creates. It's very early ticks. I mean, it was kind of a godsend that they didn't just get the zone right then and there.
Yeah.
And so much frustration being shown. Again, a very long day. You guys have been scrimming, really, since about 10 o'clock, not a little bit earlier. So have to get some kind of composure going into a map number 4. Maybe they've been good here. But you can see Cruz, this man, he's got the energy flowing. I mean, he's talking to his coach behind. They're ready to go. Dax laughing, his teammate in challengers.
Yeah.
I mean, he's feeling himself right now after that map, and why wouldn't he be? He just completely stomped them with the damage.
It's absolutely hilarious that those two started off the entirety of this day chirping at each other. Jack ended up calling Cruz his son. Rory did not like that, not even a little bit. Let me tell you, it was a little steamy out there for that first match. I know you were in here gassing it with Alan, but let me tell you, it was weird, very tense out there that first series of the day. But man, what an opportunity this will be for Oklahoma Christian. Again, they have allowed this Hydra hardpoint to be played in this map number 4. That has to scream confidence. But then again, everybody that's out here right now has just been playing Hydra Hardpoint. I don't think we've honestly had a best of 5 series that didn't have a Hydra. I'll consult my notes later on that one, but I'm pretty confident in saying that whether it was played or not, Hydra Hardpoint was definitely a map within a best of 5 series. Just got to be able to have it. And I think what's terrifying, especially for this Fisher roster, is we've already gotten some pretty good looks as far as this Oklahoma Christian roster is concerned with their AAAR setup. That, honestly speaking, if you just have a single sub, if Ray's just going to be the sub, put his butt in the hill. And you just have 3 ARs with a crossfire, I'd be terrified to go up against that.
Me too.
Especially in their hands? What?
Yes, sir. Me too. And, I mean, Gus is maybe yawning in that start of map number 1, but it feels like he is completely awake now, completely re-energized coming into that map number 3. He put up some great numbers and a chance to send Fisher Esports down to the lower bracket in their very first round. That is not something I think anybody would have expected coming into day number 1, but it is very possible if they can keep it rolling. And I'm looking at that guy in the top left-hand side of the corner right now, Andy, because you're talking about Hydro, where if you have a slow start, sometimes the game just gets away from you, where you get caught in that Hydro cycle. And if you never get out of it, then we know what tends to happen, right? Ramby's had a couple of slow starts. He brings it back in some of these maps like we saw in the Mercado Hardpoint.
Yeah.
But that could be a massive problem for them, especially with the way that we just saw Oklahoma play.
I don't know why, like, saying, like, the Zarquat hydroelectric spin cycle. That sounds like a washing machine.
The washing machine noise.
You don't want to get caught in the cycle, brother. It's not exactly the cleanest water out there at Zarqua, but, hey, I totally agree with it, man. Because this is, I mean, both teams realistically are a very vibe-heavy team. I would probably say more of Oklahoma Christian, right? Because, you know, we continuously talk about the question marks around what Ray's able to bring to the table. But if you make that a non-benefactor, you just out there, you have a good time, you play your game, especially on a triple AR setup.
Sure.
Again, Ray can either hit the rotation, you can get himself inside the hill, and so long as he's able to at least go 1-for-1, let these 3 guys just absolutely go to work. I think it's a recipe for success that Fisher do realistically need to be careful of. Now, all of that said, Fisher have yet to lose a hard point.
Yes.
So, they've lost controls, they've lost search and destroys, but they have yet to lose a single hard point. Hard point is the only loss, again, that Oklahoma Christian do have is that 100-point club to Northwood just in the beginning of the day. So, again, take that as a grain of salt. This is, after all, where the real tournament does begin, where you do have to face all the top sharks on both sides of the groups. Things very much so could end here, but Fisher looking to at least push us to a map number 5.
Boy, oh boy, Oklahoma Christian with a chance to get the 3-1 victory. But like you just said, Andy, Fisher Esports have an opportunity to respond on something that they have played quite a bit of. They have found success on. It's all about putting it together and everyone stepping up, stepping into their own to get to that map number 5. Let's kick it off. Let's jump into Hydro Hardpoint, baby.
Oh, man, it becomes even more alarming, too. Look, Oklahoma Christian actually have the favorite side of the map, but the way that Fisher actually rolling out, there's only one player in bottom red. Ray will find that trade. But look at the focus from 3 players out from Fisher. Just completely fled through the middle, double arches. They'll immediately flip the spawns. Now Oklahoma Christian are going to be playing on their back talons.
Oh, okay, Ramby starting to shoot. I like it. Very, very nice opening for him to get going with a couple of nice shots. But, Ray able to get himself back into the hard point. Still a lot of time to try to gather off of P1. Everyone from Fisher Esports, though, simply going to set themselves up and try to stay alive so they can hold on to this rotation to P2.
You're completely fine with chalking that. It's not a whole lot of time in the grander scheme of things. Silly. He's getting water routed. Rossi just went right underneath him, but the setup will have Rex at least watching this. Needs to be prepared. And it is the ace up the sleeve. 1 kill does come through. Gunsy actually spawns from behind, so just as soon as Frosty tries to develop the plate, Gunsy already blew it up.
Frosty's here. Rex unaware. Easy first kill. And what will that do now to the spawns? Secondary chow comes through. Frosty able to find it. And well, that was the opening that you need, but how about it? Great Semtex over the top. And well, Gunsy, he just breaks right in all by himself and puts together the triple.
Dang, that boy Gunsy is moving right now. Up on the 3 streak, 5-2. What was going to be a cataclysmic break. Fisher, Gunsy responds back in kind. 2-for-1 trade. Still trying to battle for the old time. We're a handful of players for the Eagles, but we're down to 20 seconds. So early days if you're looking at it from the Eagles' perspective. Fisher will be able to get the majority of this, but the Eagles are fine with that. They're anchoring the spawns. They're watching the flank, setting up here at new.
Love to find a couple kills just to loosen up this push, just like that. Beautifully done here from Cruz. The spawns will still be very deep for the most part. Really will come up inside of P5. We'll see if he can try to get some work done for the side of water, but really needs to wait for his teammates to get across the map. And when you take a look at where Frosty is, he might be able to stop a lot of that reinforcement making their way over to P3. First 15 seconds have been uncontested. Frosty will be dealt with, and now the play to the back also dealt with. Shots coming on through, but there's an opportunity to try to break through the front.
And Cruz has not moved from that rock, by the way. He finally tries to come back and help things out, at least anchor the spawns towards back pin, but Fisher are now forced to try to flood through the front. Through the narrow front door, they find success like that, huh? That is unbelievable that just worked the way that it did. I guess that's the benefit of having one of Phil and Rex up on that 3 spree. So close spawns towards the back. Oklahoma Christian need to hit through the old time. Last player will be Gunzy. He will be taken down as Oklahoma Christian will tie up the game with these last 10 seconds.
One for Fisher Esports going to spawn up with each other. That kill should spawn that player out ult. So now there's an opportunity to maybe to work through a little 3v3. Make that a 3v2. Great Semtex comes out. Lands right in front of Frosty. Cruz going to invest the Cruz missile right away. They won't find anything, but maybe gave them the info they needed. The break is in. The spawn should be good. Now they just have to find the kills and ruins.
Oh, Cruz, even like the late hit coming out from Jenny's, it just starts shooting players in towards the back. Even the damage is good enough. It's actually delaying all of Fisher Esports to try to fly through ruins. Gunzy will find the first. Ray's the only one to find the trade. Need to stay alive if you're Frosty, and he stays alive long enough that at least one player of Cruz spawns in towards the back, but he has so much more to do.
Too much to do, and will be overwhelmed. A lot of seconds left here on this hill. A good 25 to fully secure. Ray struggling to find any kind of a look in. Oh, might be able to actually find a bit of a left foot there. And, well, will be dealt with quickly after. Frosty, one more look for him. Other than that, rest of Oklahoma simply going to have to, again, set up for new, but it's now time to really lock in some critical points. You need to have some decent exits come away from this last point.
Man, this tug of war affair through this first set of hard points is just exhausting. 11-6 for Gunzy, 10-7 for Rex, 11-7 for Cruz on the opposite side. And you feel like it's really just these initial gunfights that if Fisher are able to at least find them, this game would be so far gone. Rex is still able to at least find a trade, but he was still battling over by 10. Cruz doing a bang-up job at anchoring the spawns back here at 5.
Yeah, parallel spawns come through. A critical win for Cruz, as you say. Make sure that Gus spawns right up with him. Gus now going to be responsible for watching the back. The rest of Oklahoma could soak up time. They just need to defend from the front. Out of Fisher Esports decide to work themselves in. That's the entry you need. Now it's time to use numbers. Ray able to find himself one. Ray for 2. That's the moment you look for from the SMG here from Oklahoma. And a chance maybe to put together some more as there's 15 seconds to fight
Put
for.
some respect on my man's name. Ray Codd just showed up in a massive way for Oklahoma Christian to get the majority of that time. What was initially Cruz there on the backside, anchoring out the spawns, dealing with all of the flanks. Ray just had one job, and that's soak up a minute 30 within the first set of hard points and find some kills within the hard point. Now Cruz has a sub, 14-9 now, as he had a really egotistical challenge versus Silly. He was ready for him top flat. But as we go in towards this now second set, it'll be Oklahoma Christian with a 30-point lead.
You outlined the win con, Andy, and right now Oklahoma's living up to it. 30 seconds here. They are ahead by it, but this is a good moment for Gunzy to once again open up with 2. Have to be a little bit careful. You have to play your life here. But luckily, everyone's still going to spawn in. And there's a moment to at least hold on to the rotation, but there's a lot of time to fight for on P1. 30 seconds up for grabs. Silly, how about it? Gets a little mixy down low in Dome. Picks himself up a Vazdev, and now he has a chance maybe to flood forward.
North-south spawn's actually happening over the opposite side because Silly's positioning with that Vaznev laying down inside of P2, but the hard point has not become active yet. What do these spawns end up happening? Where does Cruz even spawn? Surely it's going to be across the map. Even though Oklahoma Christian had numbers in towards the back, the numbers from the front are that much better. Fisher just soaked up, somewhere near about 28, 30 points there over by P1. But spawn still in towards the back of P2. Frosty Cruz able to combine for 2. Silly up on a 4 spree, needs to stay alive. Has no assistance for the next 2 seconds.
Oh, Silly's been doing it all up to this point. Just won't be able to find the second one. Gets up to 5 in a row after a very slow start. But Oklahoma Christian were back in the driver's seat. They had the spawns. Fisher Esports now going to get themselves the flip. Cruz going to take a deep dive and try to come around the back here and may have found the timing to surprise them. Ramby, ready, waiting for it. Cruz, though, how was he alive? Gets a Semtex in the point. It's good enough to find the first one. Oklahoma Christian now need to follow up, and they're doing so. Ramby can't find any angles in. Frosty combines for 2, and they might be able to secure the time, pending what Gunsy can do.
All of Fisher just spawned in, effectively over by P2. They have to hit through the old time. There's still 10 seconds of 5-4. Elsewhere, Rax is able to find at least 1. He's able to find 2 over by the back, but you still have Oklahoma Christian spawning so close because you still have Silly in the old time. What a scramble. Back here, back tiles. Gus is able to at least find 1. Frosty inevitably traded out, but it's Fisher Esports for the initial time.
15-second game right now. Fisher Esports back in control. Ramby does not throw a great Semtex. It forces him to really chow through the outskirts. Easy pickup coming on through after a team kill comes through to him. Rex for the front. What can he do? Able to put together the first. Cruz from the side. No, he can't find the trade. But Oklahoma Christian, with that close spawn, can afford to keep sending numbers through. And now Frosty starting to get great work done through the front.
Silly just went completely unnoticed. Ray was so confused. He's at least able to find the kill, and now you're spawning in Narnia if you're Fisher, all the way across the map. Close spawns for Oklahoma Christian. They will at least flip the lead yet again. Gunsy's going to get the rogue spawn. Nobody was at least anchoring that for Oklahoma Christian. I think Gus is ready for it. Yeah, that arrow has been turned around since yesterday, so 165 to potentially get up to 170 depending on what happens at the old time. But the rotation over towards P4, this is just about everything. Rex is trying his best to anchor out the spawn, but everybody's still over by the old time. Rex needs to hold on, and he has so much to do in front of him.
Oh, Rex, if there was ever a moment to again call for him to go big, it is in this moment right now, and Rex has just found 2 through the back. Fisher Esports now starting to actually get to the point. Reinforcements are now in. Spawns are completely being blocked. It's now up to Gus to try to go big himself, and Dylan again finds yet another kill. 4 kills in a row through the back. Frosty ready to take his place. Can he get some work done? The kills may be good enough to finally lock in some time as they get the full wipe.
We're dead. 30 seconds left here in P4. That'll put Oklahoma Christian over 200 points. And Fisher, I don't even think you have a choice in the matter. I mean, you might be able to send a couple players. You can see Gunsy on the minimap is at least trying to contest for some old time. But, I mean, now you're just giving up a lot of map positioning. Oklahoma Christian are able to find the kills. Still spawning at old. Cruz is able to find the first. Can barely get past the double arches. But so long as he can continue to find trades, you're going to keep Fisher trapped on the backside of the new hill.
Oh boy, Oklahoma Christian starting to build up a bit of a cushion heading late into this game. P5 is now opened. Fisher Esports, you need to hold. Time to try to bring it back in. Cruz going to take a long route around the back. And no one's going to get a read on this. He might be able to influence the spawns. No one has been able to track him down. Shots will be taking. Cruz's position now going to be known. But his teammates, can they get to the hill? What a gunfight win that is from Silly. And the hold looking good so far inside of Jenny.
It's massive. Look at the north-south spawns actually occurring now. You got Cruz, he spawns up inside of tiles. And Rex was just not necessarily prepared for that. Silly's not blocking spawns right now. Where do you spawn if you're Gus? Look, Rex just spawned all the way across the map. Now you know these players are trapped inside the time. Fisher may be over 200 points, but these last 20 seconds are huge.
Oh my goodness, this has been a full hold so far from Fisher Esports. They have made 0 mistakes. Maybe scrap time could be up for grabs, but there is still one more player there, and Silly will be dealt with. So after all of that, push after push, Oklahoma Christian only able to get the remaining 8 seconds. Fisher Esports, they hold the edge, going back into the resets here, Andy.
Strap yourselves in, everybody. It's about to be a photo finish on Hydro. Fisher are all locked inside P1. Gunsy is trying to anchor spawns out, and nobody turns to their right. Ray gets gunned down seemingly for free. Gus for the trade. Silly's still going big inside the old time. Frosty's here to at least try to make a fight for it. But so long as Oklahoma Christian continuously try to flood for these points of ingress to the middle of the map, Fisher are inching their way closer to a map 5.
Oh, Fisher Esports, they have done it late into the game to be able to get themselves back in control. Up by 28. A lot of time to fight for. Oklahoma Christian going to have to now start to push through. This is a key moment here on this rotation. Silly's in a great spot top dome to really delay everything that's happening here for Oklahoma. Spawn still across the map, though, for Oklahoma Christian. And P1 time is now being fought for.
Can't close it here. You gotta hit a route. Frosty's gonna be the player to try to hit a route. Ramby reads it. This comes down to the gunfight. Frosty smokes him. Now you have the flank open, and Frosty from range is able to at least open up through P1, and now Oklahoma Christian can start pushing through.
Oh, one player's going to spawn out. Frosty through the back, going to have to go quickly. 5 seconds for the dub. Someone's got to go. Ray finds 2 for the front. Ramby is still very much alive from the back. A chance to get the game won right here inside of P2.
Ray.
The challenge is there. Gus follows up. Rex ready to fly in, and the last few seconds are good for Fisher Esports.
Oh my goodness. I'm not built for these photo finishes on Hydra, man. That's way too close. That's way too close. I'm out of breath, and that's insane. It really did feel like that was Oklahoma's game to lose. I mean, from top to bottom, the way that they were just manipulating spawns after spawns from Money Hill after Money Hill was so good. And I gotta tell you, man, it's a real pain in the rear end to be right, as much as I am. But when you get Ray inside that hard point, when he is just finessing for his life, you have 3 ARs, just locked and loaded, just cutting down players from Fisher the moment they even think about sniffing the hard point, I thought that lead was gonna be insurmountable. But the way that Fisher remained composed, the way that Silly was able to bounce back from being triple negative at one point, he's a world champion for a reason, for crying out loud. Able to at least find those handful of kills in the middle of the map. It opens up so many different flanks to come through, specifically for Gunzy. How many times do we say Rex needs to be the player to go big? He delivers. If he doesn't stay alive on that back P4 side going in towards the second P4 that we had on Hydro, I mean, that map would have been over. And we would have been talking about how Fisher are now in the lower bracket. Not the case at all. Not when you have a Dylan Rex on your team.
Oh, Andy, I am so here for this series right now, man. Holy. A long day one, but a thrilling day number one at the College COD LAN here in 2023, baby. My goodness, a photo finish. Oklahoma Christian almost able to get the job done with the spawns, but Ramby, a couple key kills in the back, and how big has Gunzy been, especially through a lot of moments on this Hydro, man. 35 kills with the SMG, 24 non-traded. This man was on a rampage.
Gunzy had 1 minute and 48 of hill time. 14 of his 35 kills were within the hard point. What? He had 3,400 damage as well. Like, dude, what is happening? Let's just look at the assists. Like, Silly went 19 and 27. He still had 16 assists. 16 of his 19 kills were non-traded, by the way. He was anchoring out the spawns just as much as Cruz was, who went 31 and 24 with 4,000 damage. But it just simply was not enough. Not when you got to go up against Rex, man. 20 of 26 kills not traded, 3,300 damage, was just having everybody look at him on the map seemingly all the time. And that is why it felt like that Gunzy was going.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This has been a thriller. What a way to end day number one. We are heading into a map number 5 between Oklahoma Christian and Fisher Esports. This series has not disappointed. It has been as close as you would ever want it. You take a look at all the scores, but now we are heading in the Hotel Search and Destroy to see who stays alive in the upper
I
bracket.
figured that the day has to conclude on a Greenberg Hotel anything. Gonna go to the distance, search and destroy. Austin, I thought I was cursed for you, brother. I thought we were only gonna be good to cast 3-0s on the entire year, but here it gets delivered. And it's gotta be said, for Fisher, search and destroy versus these top teams has been pretty bad. And they looked rather disjointed through a lot of those rounds on Mercado Search and Destroy. A lot of clutch moments came through in that Mercado Search and Destroy. What, Gunzy dropped somewhere near like 11, 12 kills for the L with like 1,500 damage, and it went the distance even to a round number 10, if you consider that to be the distance. But like, it's just one of those things that I feel like this Hotel map number 5 is a targeted pick. And it's not just for one side or the other. I can sit here and I can talk about how good Frosty and Gus were in that map number 2. How integral Cruz was in that map number 2. But then you also have to look at the Slayers on the opposite side. How many times do we have search and destroy rounds on Hotel just end via kills? Through the crosses on mid being held, Dylan Rex. From points of interest being pushed by an SMG, Gunzy. All of these different tangibles need to be met on both sides in a very high tense match.
Oh, man. I mean, you can see Gunzy kind of going through their plays, right? I think this is something that has been talked about, is the fact that Fisher Esports maybe haven't exactly figured out all of their plays, and they've been able to get through the regular season up to this point purely on skill and talent.
Yeah.
Right? That's just something that they can do. You know, someone just goes rogue and just kind of goes through everyone and doesn't really show their opponents a lot of respect. Well, here's an opponent that you're going to have to show a lot of respect to, because they are turning up, they are showing up, and like you had just mentioned, like the first S&D, it felt like everything was just working for Oklahoma Christian. They were very proactive. It felt like they were just making really good decisions once they were able to play off the information And not only that, but their first bloods were a major problem, especially for some of these players, like Silly, like some of these ARs that just weren't always in their comfort zone. That is something that can change on a map like Hotel. And, well, see if it does heading into map 5.
Ooh, man. I'm not playing, but I'm feeling nervous. I'm so excited for this map number 5. This one is going to absolutely bang. Of course, it had to come down to the distance. Final match on the day. Winners round 1. We're in the double elimination bracket against 2 top dogs, or 2 top birds, I suppose. This is going to get weird, man. I'm excited.
Me too, brother. I am ready, locked and loaded, alongside all 8 of these players, but only 4 of them. Move on. Which will it be? Big upset potential for Oklahoma Christian, and they'll also be starting on the attack. Frosty with the scope. We saw how good he was on the Mercado. Found a lot of big snipes, especially in that round 1.
Expecting a challenge. Gunsy would have to give it to him. Rex. He's gonna break that. Oh! Nice opening shot. It's round 1 on Mercado all over, Doug.
Oh, man, how about that timing? Pulls the trigger at the perfect moment. Rex is like, I was snaking it. Like what happened? Gunsy now going to throw himself into the same position. Frosty's not missing shots. Dilly will get one back and make sure Ray does not get the bomb down, but still, massive advantage, and now Frosty going to hop on
Should be a Vaznev off of Ray's corpse. Bomb's going to get planted. Frosty doesn't pick it up. No, don't do it. All right, well, that's going to end up confirming it. But look at player number 4. Cruz is on the longest flank he could possibly find. He's either going to be top end or bottom luggage.
This could be a tough read, even if they do find the player in the back, which is Gus. Bomb, now going to be hopped on. They do get info on Cruz. It's both players pinched in. A reach out needs to come in. Gus is able to find one. The bomb's being defused. Someone's got to go! And oh no! It just goes horribly wrong. The Semtex isn't there. Cruz has to reload, and Gus is just too far away.
Oh, no. Someone's going to have to call the janitor. There's so much spaghetti all over that A-bomb site right now. That is not okay. You can see it on Cruz's face. The reload had to be coming through where the bomb was initially planted from, just from a safety from bottom bed. Was not in a position that Semtex could not get the kill in time. Fisher just absolutely hamburglar their way in that round 1 win.
It's gonna sting, but you can't let it affect you. You certainly can't let Fisher Esports start to just roll you over with tempo. Well, it looks like Gunsy wants to do some of that. Frosty this time won't find a connection right away. Gunsy's gonna run at him, and Frosty says, yeah, come on down, luggage. What a repeat it is, and what an easy kill it is. Bomb's now also going to go down on A.
Flank coming through very fast. I think Silly was aware of it. Cruz's dead silence straight out. There's Silly. Frosty misses a little bit wide. I mean, you're not getting to this bomb until you deal with Frosty.
Feels that way. Rex, first of many steps to try to get themselves back in control of this round number 2. Lots of time to play with. You already mentioned the fact that Cruz is threatening a flank. That could be problemsome. Rex going to pop the Deddy. Time to start clearing out space through the back of patio here at P6 and try to follow up into the bedroom. But no one's going to be positioned here whatsoever for Oklahoma. And now they're getting a little bit too low on time. You have to stick with the plan. Frosty still got a set or a nade to work with.
Off backboard, gets the damage, the collapse from Cruz on the opposite side, and Rex is going to be scratching his head. He pops that silence in. I was concerned there for a moment because you saw it developing on the minimap, right? You had one player with the sniper, Frosty, down low in luggage. He completely gives up the angle, doesn't want to get double chow, doesn't want to get overwhelmed, knowing that that silence was surely going to be utilized by one of those 2 players that were still left alive. Cruz is playing for the flank. I don't know if they had the immediate information that the bomb was dropped over by A. It would have been tough to be able to see it, but the reposition through the middle of the map to at least get the information, seeing Silly Cross pick up the bomb, convey that to Cruz. He comes back out through Statue side, is able to pinch that play ever so wonderfully off a wonderfully backboard grenade coming through for Frosty, holding his utility all the way until the end of the round.
Gotta love that patience out of Cruz. A lot of players, I think, in a position like that, where they're back spawn, they feel the need to try to get there a little bit quicker. Not the case. Cruz knows his timings. Works out well. Now we go into round number 3. Back on the attack for Oklahoma Christian. Gus, man, first bloods have been great so far for Oklahoma. How about another one? Open up this round. That's going to shift around the defenders. You take a look at Frosty. He's now just found the kill on B. And what is this going to do to the remaining 2 defenders? Well, Rex is still able to win 1. Will he be able to stay alive and work for a second?
He's forced to play in that position. So he's going to rip that silence, and he's expecting Frosty just to come flying out of him. Frosty's just playing for the unforced error. that is inevitably about to be silly. Doesn't check down low. Tough gunfight. Frosty almost dies. But now it's Rex. 1v3. Gonna have to be a retake, and he does not have dead silence.
Oh, he does not. Also has the AR in hand. Does have Semtex. Well, gonna get a quick check, I guess, maybe on the corner, but flank comes through in the back. Very clean round, getting a little bit creative, I would say, there for Oklahoma Christian to put together a second.
Frosty is a problem. he's a real issue right now for this roster of Fisher, man. I mean, if it's not the sniper that already bought a payload of respect in the first 2 rounds, he pulls out a sub, finally rips dead silence, pushes through the restaurant, finds an isolated 1v1. He's 5-1. He's on a 3 spree. Combined 6 between him and Gus now. Need a response for Fisher after stealing away that opening round. Unfortunate reload that had to come through. What's the response looking like here on offense? Looking like a main focus going over towards the A-bomb.
Want to find a response to the attack here, Ramby. Self pushed up to get any kind of peeks through mid. If he does, Gus will be there waiting for him. Full on mid stack outside of Ray. This will be a very slower approach, but Ramby tries to start to work towards the site. Gus will find an easy pickup. He's now up to 4 in a row.
Such lack of information. I mean, Gunzy gets all the way up the stairs. There's a hip. Rape. Got an AR. That guy's dead. Now you got to contest with top bedroom. Big trade to find for Gunzy. Rex is still alive. Needs to plant this bomb.
Oh, man. This round's slowly turning completely in favor of Fisher Esports after the first blood coming through. Cruz gonna have to throw the Semtex to open up the doors, and, well, doesn't spot Rex on the bomb. Really kind of focused on Gunzy there. That one's going to sting a little bit. Had an opportunity to stop the bomb plant, but now time to play retake in the 2v3.
Gus has dead silence if he wants it. He's on a 4 spree. He just lost his teammate to Cruz. Nice shots onto the first. But Gunzy, he's gone. 27 seconds. Gus needs to find these 1v1s very quickly.
Love to see Gus just play for the streak. I think it's okay. If you give up the round, it's pretty hard pressed to find 2 players in 16 seconds, and that's the call.
Absolutely.
Teammate's probably going to say, listen, just play for the final kill here. If they give it to you, great. If not, we'll work towards the kill in the next round. But Fisher Esports, they lost Ramby right away, Andy, and they're still able to capitalize off of Gunzy's aggressive push.
I mean, that's 4 first bloods for Oklahoma Christian so far. But it was the immediate trade that came through off of just nobody from Oklahoma Christian from not being inside of luggage, top stairs, over by lights. It just nobody was in a position to at least deal with that push that inevitably came through. Nonetheless, I can't necessarily fault for the mid control that you were looking for Oklahoma Christian, given how much focus you've given for Frosty in and around luggage. So, Fisher were able to earn themselves that round. Gus still has yet to die on this 5 spree. He is looking for that 6.
Love to see him get it, but you don't want to have to give up another round for it here, so you really need to get it in round number 5. And, well, Frosty's ready to bait for him. Oh, no! Gus goes down right away, and Ramby still has a chance to get some damage done, but the trades are in. Back and forth we go. Frosty gets 2. That's going to even us up. Bomb picks up, and Frosty's going to drop it right away, but this is a fast flank coming on through.
Cruz is not a part of this play at all. He's all the way past Jacuzzi. Rex is going to pinch this. I think he's got a sniper as his primary, so it's going to be an X12 pistol. Frosty's just laying prone on the bomb. Gunzy's right behind him.
Man, Cruz is still get here. So much pressure on Frosty, and now he's gotten 3. A chance for the ace, but no, Cruz does manage to get there in time. But how much trust was there for Frosty to play his life and win his ones?
I mean, Frosty just 1v3'd inside the bomb site. Like,
straight up.
The Gus got annihilated. Pops dead silence. He thought that he was going to be the switch to the bait, and then Frosty says, reverse Uno card. I am the switch. I am that guy, pal. Finds 3, finds the opening 2, recovers the bomb, gets the plant. It had to have been trust, right? Because, I mean, Cruz, you had no information what was going to be coming through from the light side over by Valet. Big round to take if you are Oklahoma Christian. Again, mid-map control. Players inside of luggage yet again. It's Gus, I'm sure, with an AR. 3-1 split. Ramby's trying to have a focus go through Jules. He'd be in a 1v1 versus Frosty.
Frosty now up to 8-2. With the scope, with the sub, and how about the sub again? 4 in a row, 2 off of a cruise missile for himself now. Gunzy back in that position where it feels like he can make a great play to open up space, find a key gunfight. Has the bomb and doesn't want to push too far forward. Not going to be spotted from Ray. This Bomb will go down, but how do they play the post-plant setup?
Ray, that timing is going to haunt him. Had a frag grenade. Don't want to use that to open up that door, so now you're expecting the player to push all the way through, but now you're relying on Frosty. Out of the flank, he's already passed the lot.
Frosty again, man. How good has he been? He continues to dominate. Fisher Esports need to hold on for about 25 seconds. It's Silly. They have just made it manageable. Oh, Silly with a reach out. Now Gunzy down low. A 2v4 in the cards. Need to see a chow from Ray. Quick trade comes in. What a round out of Fisher Esports.
Silly doesn't find that two-piece. That pinch comes through. Ray gets the assistance, who you even saw there at the end was good for at least one, but Silly still staying alive. Ray, who was bottom bedroom, he was tasked off the rip. Make sure that nobody crossed over towards that bomb. But the timing was just not favorable. I mean, the way that Gunzy was just able to quite literally soar his way over towards those stairs. And he's such a gentleman. He closes the doors ever so gently every single time they're on offense. And he's able to at least get that bomb planted damn near unscathed. Tied up once again in round 7 we go.
Oh, it could have been like 2 streaks in play here for Oklahoma Christian. Both have been nullified. Oh, how about the aggression? 2 kills early, Frosty. Oh, he does track one down.
Frosty!
Oh, my goodness. What a snapper. What a fast round. Oklahoma Christian still in control of this search and destroy.
Red card. Is it a legal move? Frosty's 12-3. You asked how good has he been statistically? Well, he's 12-3, brother. He's kind of frying right now on this map, number 5. There was so much pressure just being put together, especially from those 2 players that were bottom bed. It was 2 kills that came through off of the initial pick, and then Frosty gets the communication. I'm sure, like, I could just almost guarantee you that Cruz is probably screaming how weak those players are, and Frosty just presses the issue. 12-3 now.
Are you kidding me? Frosty leading the charge, refusing to go down to the lower bracket. Fisher Esports, all that experience could still pay off. Look at this hit. Silly ready to go. It's been red. Cruz is just waiting for it. One follows up, followed by a Semtex, and oh man, Fisher Esports now need to work through another 2 versus 4 in round 8.
They're going to be trapped. Look, Ray's already holding the exit out from Secret. He might not see them if they go all the way back to the restaurant side unless he gets the timing. Checks the wrong corner, but info is still good nonetheless. You can trust that these 2 players are going to hold over by the B-bomb site. Gunzy's going to rip that down to try to flank around to try to open up the B-bomb. That way Rex can come all the way through.
Oh, Gunzy, he's in a really
How's he
weird
alive?
position, and oh my goodness, he's gotten out, but you've now removed Rex. Gunzy for a 1 versus 3. To make sure this game does not get out of hand. Still have a bit of room to work with. No, not going to happen. Doesn't even get a look at the first. Oklahoma Christian now on map point as well as series point.
Oh my God. Something's in the air right now, and that air is a little toxic. The Fisher search and destroy, man. You see those doors open, there is no reason for you to hold that angle, much less try to hold the chow. You got to have an AR in Cruz's hand just ready to rip your head off. Goodness me. And the response just, albeit a good one, you just didn't have the numbers for it. The First Bloods have been integral to Oklahoma Christian's success up on series point.
Can they do it, though? Can they get over that final hurdle? Putting Fisher Esports down to the lower bracket and getting this secured round. Going to be hard pressed, going to be under pressure. Ramby, he's going to be stunned up here. Oh, the nade's going to follow, shrugs him back, forces him to fully reposition, and he's going to call for help. You can see it. Silly's going to join him inside. But look at this play through the outside. Frosty, he might be able to break open this door. Silly reads it, but he's got an AR. No, he gets team killed by Ramby. Oh my God, Ramby now needs to go big. He makes up for it with 2. And now we drop into a 2v2, but site control is here for Oklahoma.
He's going to plant it immediately. Cruz is here to at least watch the back door. The 2 players that were playing bottom bed, Rex and Gunzy, are here.
For the map, Rex. Great shots, Frosty.
Oh my God!
Oklahoma! They set the hook. They bring it home, and they advance to the next round.
Oh man! That boy Frosty is a bad man. Look at these final 2 kills. He was red screen, a cold breeze. If someone opened up the freezer, that would have taken him down. Oh my goodness me, oh my. 15-3 for Frosty. We'll talk more about the stats here momentarily, but man, I gotta tell you, that was making me feel a certain type of way. It's unfortunate the way that final round did play out because you had Cruz initially. He was that player that was causing a lot of distress, a lot of ruckus with the throwables over by the A bomb site. That by that point in time, that was forcing both Gunzy and Rex to still play on top of each other, bottom bedroom. And they were so late to the rotation. Once Frosty breaks all the way back through, Ramby already got a direct impact team kill onto his teammate of Silly. He was able to somehow still walk away with 2. But then it's Frosty, man, because of course it was. Alongside Cruz, works his way in ever so comfortably to help out Frosty, not only get that bomb planted, but then Frosty gets a shot at the end to the back door and finds them both. Are you kidding me? What?
Frosty's him right now, man. It feels like he's been getting better and better throughout the day. Apparently the day goes later, Frosty gets better. Man, what an incredible individual performance. A takeover from Frosty. Frustration on the side of Fisher Esports. This was a match that they were supposed to win on paper. A lot of people said, oh, maybe they'll get a map, but maybe a 3-0. It feels like no. Sure, the hard points go over, but Oklahoma Christian 2-3-5 their way through Fisher Esports to take down that first seed from Group B. And 15 kills with 12 of them non-traded. In that final moment as well, Andy, Frosty had maybe 0.5 seconds to get that double with the Semtex right on his feet. Like, there was no other time available to find those 2 kills, and he does, man. I mean, you just can't make that up. This is LAN, baby.
What a statement to drop a 5.0 in a map number 5. And it even goes beyond that, too, right? I mean, like, he was also just as electric in the Mercado S&D. It had to be the Neslo for Oklahoma Christian. It just had to be. I mean, the hard point, albeit on Hydro, they made a lot of good arguments to try to close it out there. But, man, their objective gameplay, albeit a little bit close in that map number 3, was very, very good. And it's enough to propel them into now winners finals. And I got to say, man, as far as a run back is concerned, revenge is a dish best served cold. That match is about to bang between Oklahoma Christian and Northwood tomorrow.
Bit of a rematch, right? Take it on place. Maybe the first series didn't go well, but it was very early on in the day. Finding footing, shaking off the nerves a little bit. But after you go through a match like that, who knows what ends up happening for tomorrow with that very first match. It's been special, but we also have Cruz waiting by with I Hold Shift to take us through the live interview.
Wow. What a series, Ben. Let's take it through the first things first. I mean, the Hydra Hardpoint ending. Unbelievable. What's kind of going through your guys' head in that last break attempt?
It was kind of just a bit of a battle. We kind of had to just force the front, and we just unfortunately lost the trades, which kind of sucked, but it is what it is. It happens sometimes, but they played the map pretty well. Gunzy had a really good map, so we had to tip that, but then we had to just close them out in the map 5, you know?
You do what you got to do. Here's the thing. You are in a unique situation this event because you're playing up against a lot of people that you've recently played with or will be playing with again here in the near future. What's it like squaring up against recent teammates on a different environment here with College COD?
It's fun, you know. Me and Dak have been playing together the whole year, so we have a lot of experience together. We know what each other do, and it's always fun matching up against each other. Unfortunately, he got the better of me today, but I'm going to try and get my revenge tomorrow. And then playing Gunzy, that was fun again. And yeah, it's cool seeing everybody. It's awesome. The Belong Arena's been great, and it's been a great time so far. Looking forward to tomorrow.
Sweet. This is going to be an interesting one because you're in an interesting situation. You've already been a move to the States before, did it through Cold War, back to APAC and Vanguard. Now you get a chance at the College COD. How do you feel like you have kind of grown as maybe a leader? Because you're playing with a lot of Challengers players, sure, but you also have kind of a recent player in Frosty and then Ray, who's obviously someone that's kind of newer to the scene, so to speak, comparatively to players like yourself.
I mean, it's been a good transition. I've enjoyed it. I've played with a lot of younger people than me before, so I don't find it too hard. I have liked playing with Frosty a lot. His improvement this year has been amazing, and he stepped it up a lot as a player. And like we just saw, he just dragged us through that last map, so got to tip that as well. But no, I've enjoyed it, and College COD has been great. I've had a great experience. I mean, we went undefeated in the regular season, and then we've done pretty well so far here. Only one loss, and looking forward to go again tomorrow in the winners finals.
You're hitting all my segues for me. Final question for you. Tomorrow, winners finals, you've got Northwood team that is coming in as the reigning champ. Also, kind of like you guys, completely undefeated, only dropping a couple of maps total throughout the year. Where's your headspace at when it comes to taking down Fisher, now looking to kind of take down the big dog in Northwood?
I think we just need to do a bit of review tonight, figure out kind of what went wrong when we played them earlier today. We didn't play really as well as we would have liked, so we just need to iron up on a couple of things and maybe figure out some better maps or sort of better ways to play against them to kind of counter them. They're such a strong team that we all need to be on point if we're going to beat them, so just making sure that we're all fired and ready to go.
Easy enough. Best of luck, my man. Appreciate you taking the time. Boys, back to you guys. Finish it off.
Thank you so much, Alan. What a great interview. Cruz obviously feeling incredible after that matchup. Why wouldn't you be? I mean, he pulled off an incredible upset, but showing a lot of love to his teammates. And talking about the leadership, stepping into that role, trying to lead these guys over the finish line, but maybe even being taken into some of their own hands as well with the 15 kills at the end for Cross.
Yeah, I think that it really does kind of speak volumes. I think Alan really asks a phenomenal question, right? I mean, you have teammates, former teammates, players that have played against each other all year long, whether it's in college COD or even through challengers, especially with champs right around the corner, quite literally. So it's just one of those things, again, that is the CCL. It's a beautiful experience for everybody to really come together and really kind of break the mold as far as what competitive Call of Duty can honestly look like. It's fun, it's competitive, love to have it.
Well, we'll take a look at the bracket and see how everything came together by the end of day one. It's been a long day here in the Belong Arena in Columbus, Ohio, but as we get to the end of day number one, we can see it. Northwood Esports up against Oklahoma Christian. That will be the rematch. You heard Cruz talk about the fact that, listen, they're going to go do some review. We're going to see what went wrong and try to fix some of their mistakes for that matchup for tomorrow. And I imagine maybe some of those maps might even change. But down in the lower bracket, things get interesting, don't they? Fisher Esports goes back up against St. Clair Saints. And then we also have the Dragons up against St. Edwards, for that second lower round matchup.
Brother, we got 3 rematches tomorrow, all off of group play. And it's all going down tomorrow. The St. Clair Saints trying to bounce back versus Fisher. They're going to be upset about losing that map 5 versus Oklahoma Christian, who want their run back as well. And then St. Edwards as well. I mean, I got to catch them on their way out. They were very frustrated with that loss versus the Dragons of University of North America. I don't know what you're doing tomorrow, but you better be here at least watching if you're not in the Belong Gaming Arena here in Columbus, Ohio, because that is just going to be a banger of a day.
Well, the last match certainly did not disappoint, and we've had a lot of action through day number one, but it all must come to a close. Players ready to review, ready to get ready for day number two, as it will be Championship Sunday. We'll be crowning a champion. Make sure you join us at 12 o'clock p.m. EST, as we'll be kicking the stream back up, and it's going to be an incredible time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys back with some more Call of Duty action for Championship Sunday.